my divine souls. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness with your spiritual guide and Twinflame coach Neha. In today's episode, we will be talking about a topic that is don't compare your Twinflame journey with others and the hidden trap that actually delays your union. So, have you ever found yourself while you were scrolling through your social media, Instagram, Facebook, and suddenly you come across someone or a couple and see that they have reached union with their twin flame in few years, or maybe you've watched a video where someone claims that their twin flame journey was effortless or magical and filled with signs every single day. And suddenly, without even realizing, you start questioning your own journey. You start getting these questions in your mind like, why is my journey taking so long? Why am I not experiencing certain things and they are experiencing it? Am I doing something wrong in this journey? Because when you start getting these questions in your mind, so one of the biggest mistakes you are doing is that you are comparing this sacred journey to somebody else's story. And what most people they don't realize when they do this is that comparison doesn't bring clarity. Instead, it creates confusion, self-doubt, frustration, and resistance. So now let's understand that why every twin flame journey has a different purpose. One of the biggest misconceptions in this twin flame community is that many people they believe that every journey should look the same, or every person, let it be divine masculine or divine feminine, should go through the same tests and trials. And people often assume that there is a universal timeline. For example, they start having these assumptions in their head that first we'll meet, then we'll go through separation, then we'll go through the healing process, then again you'll reunite, right? That is how actually it has become like a routine or a cycle, which everybody thinks that this is how a twin flame journey look like. But you should know that there is a deep truth, and the truth is that every twin flame connection, it carries a unique soul blueprint, and it has a different timeline for different people, different souls. Some people they meet their twin while they are in their 20s, others they meet at their 40s, 30s, 50s, or even later. Some people they experience years of separation, whereas others they experience shorter cycles of separation. Some people are meant to learn patience, whereas others are meant to learn self-worth. Some of them are healing abandonment wounds, while some of them they are breaking generational patterns. So your soul curriculum is different from theirs, meaning your purpose or your healing, let it be generational healing or childhood trauma healing, is different from others. So just as no two fingerprints are identical, no two twin flame journeys are identical. Every twin flame journey is different. So the moment you compare your timeline to someone else's, you are measuring two completely different souls' experiences using the same ruler. You are measuring and trying to balance two different people and their situations through a same perception, through a same cycle, and that rule doesn't work. Now let's be honest, most people share the exciting parts of their journey, like they talk about synchronicities or angel numbers, telepathy, signs of union, or how they met their twin, how much exciting it was. And in that process, what often gets left out is the sleepless nights, the years of uncertainty, the waiting game, inner healing, moments of feeling completely lost, and of course, how can we forget the dark night of the soul? So, what you're usually seeing is a carefully selected portion of someone's experience. You're seeing the chapter that they are willing to share, not the entire book. They're willing to share only the positive and good moments. That doesn't mean that they have not been through the darker moments. And when you compare your behind the scenes struggles to someone else's highlight or happy days, you create an unfair comparison. Because you begin to believe everyone else is progressing while you are still at the same place. You are standing still. But that is not the truth. Many people are facing challenges in this journey, though they never discuss it publicly. So before comparing yourself to another journey, remember, you may be not seeing the full picture. You are only seeing what the other person is trying to show you or is willing to show you. Here, why am I talking about comparison? Why, comparison is a thief of joy. We have heard that. But at the same time, it's very much important also to know that while comparing, many people, they overlook some things. They overlook one thing, that is, comparison is not just a mental habit. It is an energetic state. So when you're constantly focused on what someone else has, your energy shifts from trust into lack. You slip into the lack mentality simply because your energetic state shifts because of your comparison. Because instead of saying that, my journey is unfolding perfectly for me, instead of having that trust and surrender, you start questioning that why don't I have what they have? And that subtle shift matters a lot. Why? Because your attention moves away from your own healing and towards someone else's experience. And because of that, you stop listening to your intuition, you stop honoring your own path, and you stop recognizing your own progress. Comparison pulls you out of alignment with yourself. And the twin flame journey is ultimately about returning to yourself. The more you focus on another person's timeline, the less present you become in your own transformation, because you are more interested in what is going on in other twin flames' life and how come they are united so fast, how come they are healing so soon, whereas you feel that you are still stuck in zero. Even though you have healed, even you have done so much of work, because of that slight comparison, you feel like you have done nothing. There is no progress in this journey. Now let me give you a simple example. Imagine that two students are taking different classes, okay? One is studying mathematics, whereas the other is studying literature. Would it make sense for the literature student to compare their progress to the math student? Of course not. Why? Because they are learning different things. So this example applies to twin flames also. You may be currently learning self-love, boundaries, emotional regulation, nervous system regulation, childhood traumas, whereas someone else's soul may be learning entirely different lesson. Maybe they come from a lineage which has entirely different generational curses or blockages which doesn't match yours. Along with that, they have different karmic cycles. They have carried that karmic cycle from their past life, and you don't know what they have done in their past life. Similarly, like you don't know what you have done in your past life, that you have to go through a very hard karmic cycle. So when two karmic cycles can't be the same, how do you expect that the healing journey or the progress towards union or inner union will also be the same? It means that they are navigating a different curriculum, and growth is not a competition. Here we are not competing with anybody. Your biggest competition is you. When you learn to discipline yourself in this journey, you are your biggest competition. And healing is not a race. It is more like a marathon. It's not a race. And spiritual evolution, it cannot be measured by comparison. Never measure your spiritual evolution or your journey with others, especially when you are ascending. You know, one of the most damaging beliefs in the twin flame community is that you feel that you are somehow behind, and you feel like, let's challenge that. Behind means what? Behind compared to who? According to what timeline? To whom you are comparing? And to what timeline you are comparing? Because let me tell you, the soul does not operate according to human schedules. It does not understand human schedules. The universe is not checking a clock. It has its own divine timing. Your higher self isn't judging you because your journey took longer than someone else's. You and your journey is taking longer because your karmic cycles are different. Your generational blockages are different. Every lesson arrives when you are ready to receive it. And every breakthrough happens when the foundation has been built. And in this journey, every stage serves a purpose. So if you've been telling yourself lately that I am behind, I'm running behind in this journey, please replace it. Replace it and affirm that I am exactly where I need to be for my highest growth. What will you affirm? I am exactly where I need to be for my highest growth. Because that's far closer to the truth. Many people, they become so focused on union. That is the problem in this twin flame journey. They become so obsessed with union that they forget the true purpose of the journey. Like I told you in the previous episode about the soul mission, that the main aim of this journey is not union. It is your soul mission, your soul contract, the contract which you made before entering this planet Earth, before being born here. So the twin flame connection is not just about being with another person. It's always about becoming the highest version of yourself, the best version of yourself. If union was the only goal, the journey would end the moment you came together. But that is not what this path is all about. It's about awakening, it's about expansion, self-discovery, growth. And the more you focus on becoming whole within yourself, the less obsessed you'll become with comparing timelines of different twin flames. Now, many changes happen during this journey, and each and every one of us go through many hardships. I'm not saying that my journey is easy or your journey was easy. No, we all have to go through something bitter. But during such moments, you have to trust what? You have to trust the divine timing. Especially when you don't understand what is happening around, when you feel like things are getting delayed. But what if nothing is actually getting delayed? What if everything is unfolding exactly as it needs to be? Sometimes, not just in twin flame journey, even generally in life, what feels like a setback is actually a preparation. And what feels like waiting is actually transformation. And what feels like separation is creating the growth that is necessary for your alignment, not the other person's alignment. Separation is created for your own alignment. Trust in divine timing means believing that there is a purpose even when you can't see it yet. From this episode, from this topic, I just want to tell you all that your twin flame journey was never meant to look like anyone else's. Not their timeline, their lesson, or the challenges, or their outcome. Your path is sacred because it is uniquely yours and it only belongs to you. Your blueprint is different. So stop looking sideways and comparing to people. Stop measuring yourself against other people. Stop asking why your journey doesn't look like theirs. Because the moment you shift your focus from comparison to transformation, everything changes. The goal is not to have the same journey as someone else's. The goal is to fully embrace your own journey. So that's why comparison is a thief of all joy. It steals away your joy. Even if you are healing, even if you are feeling that you've reached a certain point of ascension, you'll feel like you are going nowhere once you start comparing. That's why they say comparison is the thief of joy. So stop comparing your journey, your ascension journey, your twin flame journey with others. And also stop comparing your counterpart with others. They are different, they have their own baggages. Others' counterpart is different, they have their own baggages. Some awaken fast, some come into union fast, some don't. It takes time and it's okay. Don't curse yourself or curse the other person. Own it with dignity, own it with grace, and believe and surrender in divine timing. So if you like this episode on don't compare your twin flame journey with others, do like, share, subscribe and comment. For any kind of personal guidance, you can WhatsApp or email me. My contact details have been given in the description box and mentioned in the video. I thank you all for watching, supporting, commenting and liking my videos. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again in another episode.